What up, Kings? This your host, Obed. Welcome to today's episode of King's Table. That's Kings with a Y. Today, I answer the question, what is a man's biggest vulnerability? Now, before I answer that question, if you haven't liked, commented, subscribed, shared, or followed this post or page, go ahead and do so. Show the boys some love. Now, back to the answer. I asked this on Instagram. What is a man's biggest vulnerability? Two responses that I got were ego and emotions. I believe ego is tied into emotions, right? So I'm gonna go with emotion on this one, okay? Now, that is like, if you think about it, right? What is a man's biggest vulnerability? The answer is emotions. It's the same reason why men commit suicide. 80% of the suicide worldwide are men. Worldwide. So it's not geographically, it's not here, it's not worldwide. 80% of suicides are men. Now, when it comes to emotions, men will do one of two things: implode, suicide, or explode, domestic violence, right? And that happens too with men, right? There are men that are physically abusive, that are aggressive, that are, heinous and barbaric in that aspect. That's their biggest vulnerability. That's how you know something's wrong with that guy. A man is hurt from his emotions, right? Now, on the flip, what is a man's smallest vulnerability, right? Their physical body is their least or the smallest vulnerability, right? That's why men have more muscle mass. That's why men work laborious jobs. That's why men are inclined to do those jobs, because their bodies are literally built for it, right? Now, I want you guys to remember that, right? A man's biggest vulnerability is his emotions. A man's smallest vulnerability is his body. Now, I'm about to give you guys a paradigm shift right now that'll blow your fucking mind. All right? I want y'all to listen to this. And if you didn't catch it the first time, rewind it, okay? Check it. A man's biggest vulnerability is his emotions. A man's smallest vulnerability is his body, muscle mass. A woman's biggest vulnerability is her body. A woman's smallest vulnerability is her emotions. Replay it if you haven't heard it, if you didn't get it. Right? A man's biggest vulnerability is a woman's smallest vulnerability. A man's smallest vulnerability is a woman's biggest vulnerability. Do you see how we're designed for each other? Do you just see how that fits? We are literally designed for each other. Right? Now, what does that tell you? That we are here to protect one another. Men are on this earth to protect women and children and the people around them, right? And women are here to protect men and women and children and the people around them emotionally. Men are here to protect physically. But you see how if we work together, how powerful that could be? This is life changing. This shit is real. Like, I'm telling you, like, I believe this to the core of my bones. Molecularly, I believe this because it just makes sense. We're two powerful forces. And the reason we have this destructive, these F words is because one of two things. One, they've been abused, and two, they want to run away from that obligation, that responsibility of protection. Just embrace it, you know? We are literally designed to protect each other, to grow, to show love. You know, and I do want to touch base on, you know, that emotional vulnerability. You know, yesterday I asked about body count. I was speaking with a buddy of mine, and I asked him, man, like he gets a lot of ass. And I asked him, yo, how many girls have you slept with? He's like, 20 plus. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, how many girls were you emotionally vulnerable with? And he like sat back and he thought about it for a second. And he's like, 3. 3 girls that he was emotionally vulnerable with. That's powerful. That is powerful. It's a powerful realization to have, you know? And it just comes to show, like, how a man's emotions are their biggest vulnerability. Now, with that being said, fix your crown, King. The world needs you.